Second lap. Let me get Mr. Hester to cross the line for me. I'm just going to go ahead and get the transponders that are on track taken care of. All right, so there's Mr. Hester.
Brandon Hester.
Hold on. All right, so who's this that just crossed? All right.
Mike Sunderland.
All right, is Rob Isaac up here? Let's get Rob across the line for me. Rob Isaac.
Rob Isaac.
All right, who else is up here that I know? Let's get Mr. Henley to cross for me.
Eddie Henley.
All right, so the three I'm looking for will be Dave McEwen, Jason Rona, and Jason Santos. I think that's correct. There's Mr. Rona.
Jason Ruana.
Hey, Mr. Cole, can I get you on that yellow cone for me instead, please? Thank you.
Hey, everybody.
Just got to get all the blower spots covered.
Hopefully you guys can hear me.
All right, so the two I'm looking to check are Dave McEwen. There's Dave McEwen. So just Jason Santos. There he is. He's working his way.
Got 40 plus up right now.
This is for 40 plus two-wheel drive.
Howdy.
Not in this one? All right, let's go to... All right, so we should be all good to go there. We'll let Lee get Mr. Rona finalized. Alrighty, we got some marshals, we got some drivers. Let's get Mr. Rona behind the line.
Jason Rona.
The way you'll be called off, it'll go Dave 1, Eddie 2, Jason 3, Chris 4, Rob 5, Brandon 6, and Mike 7. This is the first race we're calling off, so I'm going to make sure that we get everybody going before we have car 1 come back around. So be on your toes and ready to go. So it'll be Dave McEwen on the tone.
Dave McEwen. Eddie Henley.
Never mind.
Jason Ruana. Chris Weishar. Rob Isaac. Brandon Hester. Mike Sunderland.
I'm going to go ahead and turn that off. That way I can do it all. Everything should be set now. So we are looking for top three consecutive. First laps are through. Hot lap out of the gate will be Mr. Jason Rona with an 18.4. Backs it up with an 18.9. Working on 1 minute in. We'll see third laps coming momentarily. We'll see how everybody stacks up. So Dave will be the first one with 3 in. 101.5. Jason Rona 56.0. Eddie Henley 102.5. Brandon Hester 59.6. Rob Isaac 108.9. Chris Weishar 110.6. And Mike Sunderland 110.7. 18.3 going to be the hot lap on track after the first couple of laps. That is set by Mr. Rona, who also is at the top of the board right now with a 55.9. Got an 18.9, 18.6, 18.3. Drops another 18.6 that time by 55.650 is going to be the pace you're looking to beat as we go to 3:05 left to go. Jason Rowe that time. Well, 18.3, then backs it up with an 18.8. 55.3, now going to be the pace. Picks up just a couple of tenths there. Hester going to be in the 2 with a 59.6. Dave McEwen, 59.7. Eddie, 102.1. Rob, 108.2. Chris, 110.3. And Mike, 110.6. 2 minutes 10 left to go, so we are in the back half of the race right now. Our race leader, Jason Rona, coming through the chicane, down the straightaway, into the big step onto the tabletop, jumps all the way over it. Coming off that corner table through the switchbacks into, I don't even know what to call that yet. We'll just call it a sketch double. That's what it is. It's a sketchy double. Down the straightaway he comes once again, crossing that stripe. 18.1, backs it 18.4. 55.3, still going to be the pace. Another solid one here. Could drop his time down some more, but he is already in the lead with a 55.3. 59.6 for Hester. McEwen with a 59.7. Henley a 102.1. Sunderland a 107.5. Isaac 107.6. And Weishar 110.3. Our race leader is that white, yellow, and blue. Work his way through that chicane once again. Back down the stripe he goes.
1 minute left.
1 minute left to go. Race number 2, you should be going through tech. Race number 2, you should be going through tech. Those of you in stock, make sure your Speedo is in blinky mode. Doing okay down there, Mr. Hardison? Getting all those blinkies in? 30 seconds left. 30 seconds left. Rona, McEwen, Hester, Henley, Sunderland, Isaac, and Weishar. 20 seconds left. Up next will be the first heat of 17.5 Indy. Five seconds left on the clock. Keep driving until your name is called. Keep driving until your name is called. That is time on the clock. Everybody's still hot. Everybody's still hot.
Dave McEwen done.
Dave McEwen, you are done. Rob Isaac is still alive. Watch that tabletop on the left side. Watch that big table on the left side. All right. As you cross this time, you'll be
Eddie
done. As
Henley
you cross
done.
this time, you will be done.
Brandon Hester done. Jason Ruana done.
So as you cross, you will be done.
Rob Isaac done.
Looks like that is a race.
The race is completed.
All right, race number 2, you can start making your way up to the driver's stand. Race number 2, you can start making your way up to the driver's stand. let these guys finish up, and then we will open the track up, and I will take care of all of our unknown transponders. These guys all know what's up, doing a great job on their blowers. Oh, you should be good, Brock, for the that purple cone, I think, is the last one. Thank you, sir. All right, track is open for you guys.
Alton
Just use
Henley.
caution as the marshals work their way out.
Gerasimos
The blowers are
Ellipse.
off, so we are all good there. All right, Steve Pryor.
Steve Pryor.
There. David.
David
There.
Jacalone.
There's Jason.
Jason Ranger.
So I'm looking for Chris and Matthew. There's Chris, it looks like.
Chris Mueller.
Matthew Blake will be my last one that I'm looking for. I know there's a couple guys in here that will not be making it until tomorrow that did already pay. Hey, guys, you don't have to blow again. Blows are already done. You don't have to blow again. You're good. All right. Do we have any Matthew Blake? Did you get a Matthew Blake through tech at all, Mr. Hardison? No. All right. So then that must mean we are all set to go. All right. So your running order is going to go David, Alton, Gerasimos. Sweet. Jason, Steve, and Chris. Make sure it's not going to call out. All right. We've got, yep, in that 4th slot. Looks like I've got all of my marshal positions covered, so we are all set to go here. So, David, you will go on the tone. Alton. Gerasimos. Jason. Steve. And Chris. All right, everybody is on clock. Let first laps come in here. This is heat 1 of 2 for two-wheel drive 17.5 Indy Buggy. Also, for anybody wondering, the only reason why I'm making sure the blowers don't do extra is just because I know on the red ones, the batteries aren't the greatest of batteries, so I just want to make sure they last as far as possible. They should last all 14 without any issues. They did last year, but I just want to err on the side of caution. That way we know we'll be all good. So, like I said, there shouldn't be any issue at all, but just for good policy. All right, David will be the first one with 3 in, 102 flat. Gerasimos 107.6. Steve 105.9. Chris 106.5. David by again for lap number 4, 102 flat. Jason by 127.4. Looking for Alton to complete his 3rd lap. That should be him coming by now, 143.1. So everybody does officially have 3 laps in the books. David going to be on that top slot with a 102 flat. This is our first race, 17.5 today. One more heat after this. So these guys looking to set the pace for the next heat coming up. And then this is going to seed you for your qualifiers tomorrow. 2 minutes, 40 seconds left to go, 2:40 to go. Chris on top with a 101 flat. David, 102.0. Gerasimos, 105.7. Steve, 105.7 as well. Just 4 hundredths separating those two. Jason, 117.6. Alton, 127.2. Race number 3, you should be making your way to Tech. Race 3 should be making their way through Tech. And at the bottom of the stairs, waiting to come on for their race. 2:10, 2:10. Also, guys, just to go over it once again, we are having a clinic at the conclusion of seating.
2 minutes left.
That will be on track. So that will be, again, at the conclusion of seating for anybody who is interested in coming and hanging out, getting a little insider knowledge. Minute 40 to go, minute 40 to go. Race 3 should be through tech and at the staircase. Just don't enter the driver's stand, of course. We don't want to distract the drivers that are on track. Minute 20 to go, minute 20 to go. That was cool.
One minute left.
1 more minute to go, which means we are in the closing stages of opportunity to get that top seed going into qualifiers tomorrow. 40 seconds on the clock. 40 seconds on the clock. Watch the sketch double, guys. Watch the sketch double. All right, looks like that is clear. Watch the left hand step on. Left hand step on. Marshall is there. He is at the wood wall, so stay to the right of that. Stay to the right of it. Marshall's still there. Marshall is still there. Still there, still there. All right, you should be good to cross now, Mike. All right, that left-hand side is officially clear of Marshall's, and that is time on the clock. Keep driving until your name is called. Keep driving until your name is called.
David J. Cologne done.
David, you are done.
Jason Rager done.
Jason, you are done.
Steve Pryor done.
Steve is done. Chris, you are still alive. Chris is still alive if you'd like to keep going. And then everybody should be done this time by. Everybody should be done this time by. Those of you on blower spots, make sure you
Gerasimos done.
get that taken care of.
Alton Henley done.
One more to finish up. One more to finish. We do still have a live car. One more to finish. It's coming down the stripe now. And
Chris
that
Wheeler
is
done.
a race. Let's get
All
our
drivers
blowers.
are finished.
Remember, 1 to 2,
The race
2 to
is
3.
completed.
Rob, I do need you to do your blower now. 5 to 1, please. And then Chris Weishar. Chris Weishar, I need you to do your blower from 1 to 2. Remember, guys, if you pick a blower spot, make sure you go from one spot to the next. We all want to have a nice, clean track to race on, so please be courteous to your fellow racers. So you'll go 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4, 4 to 5, 5 to 1. So Brandon, you'll go from that spot to 5. Yeah, so drop the blower there at the 5 spot. Thank you, sir. So you'll drop the blower at the spot you end at. Always a little bit of confusion when we first start doing the blowers. We'll be good as we go into tomorrow. I know it's not something that's super duper common at like club level stuff. So if you're not used to doing the big race stuff, you just don't know. You don't know what you don't know. So I can't blame you guys for that. So we did have 6 guys in that last race, so I should have just about all of my spots covered. Alrighty. Chris, if I get you at that corner spot for me, that way that blower can get taken care of, and I think that covers everything. So track's open, guys. Track is open. Get a warm-up lap in, and then we'll do transponders next lap by.
Joe Eastridge. Nolan Hunt.
Although it looks like I've got some that are just coming up easy for
Dwayne
me.
Pryor.
So I got Dwayne done easy. There's
Eric Pryor.
There's Rick Toss.
Rick Tossavanen.
There's Mr. Merchant.
Jermaine Merchant.
And Mr. Santos.
JConcepts.
All right, sweet. That's easy enough. Let's go ahead, close the stripe, close the stripe. No more laps, no more laps. Caution on the straightaway, caution on the straightaway. So your running order will be as follows. It's going to go Dwayne, Eric, Nolan, Rick, Joe, Jermaine, and Jason. So let me get everybody bunched up here at the front between the 2 and the 4. Dwayne, I will need you to back up a little bit so you don't jump the line. The line can be a little bit sensitive from time to time. All right. Looks like we should be good to go. So, again, it's going to go Dwayne, Eric, Nolan, Rick, Joe, Jermaine, and Jason. I've got Marshall spots covered, so we are all set to go. So, Dwayne on the tone, you will be live. We'll let him get a sec. Eric. Nolan. Rick. Joe. Jermaine. And Jason. All right. So I think I've got might have had a couple races go through. I've got a general idea about how long it takes for cars to come through. So in the following races, spacing should be pretty solid. I do want to maximize it as much as possible. That way you have as little chance for traffic, because we want everybody to have the best opportunity, of course, to see it as best as possible. Alrighty, as we get our first few laps in, we're going to have Nolan at the top of the board for this race, 105.4, Eric Pryor 107.9, Jason 109.7, Rick 110.3, Joe 110.5, Jermaine 118.6, and then Dwayne 159.7. For some reason, my estimated position is not showing me based on top 3. I'll mess with that in just a moment. We'll get this race going through. Alrighty, 2 minutes, 15 seconds left on the board here. Gonna have Nolan Hunt with that 105.4, Eric 106 flat, Jason 109.7, Rick 110.3, Joe 110.5, Jermaine 114.9, and Dwayne 155.2.
2 minutes left.
Right now, top of the board is going to be a 58.6. Oh, watch the left-hand step on table. Left-hand step on table. Stay to the right of it. Stay to the right of it. Marshall is still there. Marshall is still there. 1 minute, 35 seconds left to go. Ba-doop. One minute, 10 left to go. Nolan 105.4. TQ, though, is going to go to Chris Mueller at the moment with that 58.6.
1 minute
top
left
of the leaderboard. 30 seconds left to go. 30 seconds left to go. Race number 4, you should be through tech. Race 4 should be through tech. And waiting just at the bottom of the staircase, Nolan going to be at the top of the heat 3, not on a top seed pace with that
Transponder 2129052.
Eric 106 flat, Rick 107.1, Jason 108.8, Joe 110.5, but unfortunately out. Jermaine 112.7, Dwayne 141.6. Everybody's still alive. Everybody's still alive. Keep driving until your name is called. Keep going. Keep going. Everybody is still alive.
Eric Pryor done. Jermaine Merchant done. Rick Tossavanen done.
As you cross
Dwayne
this time,
Pryor
you'll be done.
done.
As you cross the line this time, you will be done.
Nolan Hunt done. Jason Xentos
And
done.
that is a
All drivers
race.
are finished.
Blowers, blow
The
to
race
your
is
next
completed.
cone, and then you'll drop your blower at that following cone.
Dave McEwen.
All right, switching over to 17.5 Expert here. We'll let our blowers get taken care of.
Ryan Cottle. Josh Parrish.
All right, looks like I've got my blowers
Brendan
set
Edwards.
down. What was that? Anywhere that's open. Whatever works best. All right, so let's get that is
Talon Henley.
Talon. Here is
Tyler Hooks.
All right. Track is open, guys. Track is open. I did have 7 cars start that, so I should have all cones covered without any issue. And that is Mike Sunderland.
Mike Sunderland.
All right, stripe is closed, stripe is closed. No more laps, no more laps. Who am I missing? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yep, 7 cones. All right, let me get Nolan Hunt to raise his hand. Nolan Hunt, all right. Eric Pryor. Where's Eric at? There's Eric. We got Rick out there. I got Jason out there. I need Joe Eastridge. That's who I'm missing. I need Joe Eastridge to marshal at the blue cone in the center. Joe Eastridge to marshal blue cone center, please. There he is. Sweet. All right, we got marshals and drivers. Let me get everybody between the 2 and the 4 up here at the front. Let me get all these cars pulled up between the 2 and the 4, please, and thank you. That way I can call everybody off nice and quick. That works. That's close enough. So it's going to go Gerasimos, Josh, Talon, Tyler, Brendan, Dave, Mike, and Ryan as your running order. So Gerasimos, you will go on the tone.
Gerasimos Galos. Josh Parrish. Talon Henley. Tyler Hooks. Brendan Edwards. Dave McEwen. Javon. Mike Sunderland. Ryan Cottle.
Nice. Yeah, each of the classes are set to do the auto announce. I caught it on the 17.5. I did get that one on the Indy. But we're all good. I actually spaced everybody out very well. So no issues there at all. So we're all good. We got 5 minutes of driving here. Looking for your best 3 laps in a row. And while that's coming in, I'll actually go and adjust the rest of classes to make sure that I don't have that issue I just had. There we go. All right, we are all set there now. So we are only missing 1 driver from this race. Javon will be, I think he's going to be in late tonight. So he'll just have to jump into qualifying tomorrow. But we do have the other 8 drivers. It is going to be Tyler Hooks in that number 1 slot, 57.1. Brendan Edwards, 57.8. Josh, 1 minute, 0.4. Talon, 1 minute, 0.9. Dave, 101 flat. Gerasimos, 101.3. Ryan, 101.8. And Mike, 114.5. Mike, though, just dropped it down to 107.9, and he's looking to cut out a 25.5, so that should continue to drop as we go on. We do have live video going through Mod, Matt Olson. I believe that should be Facebook, YouTube, and Live RC. Joe in the front step. Tyler Hooks at the halfway mark, going to be your top driver. 57.1. Brendan, 57.8. Talon, 1 minute, 0.2. Josh, 1 minute, 0.4. Dave, 1 minute, 0.7. Gerasimos, 101.3. Ryan, 101.8. And Mike, 102.2. Talon Henley now going to jump to the top of the board. 56.1, a full second up on Tyler Hooks at the moment. Last 3 laps, 17.8, 19.9,
2 minutes left.
18.2. So he is at the top of the board right now. Tyler Hooks, his last lap was at 18.7, which was his fastest lap so far, although it looks like this one is going to be a long one, so he'll reset for his top 3. We'll see what he ends up with over the course of the next 3. Minute 40 to go, minute 40 to go. Race number 5, you should be working either through tech or at the staircase ready to come up. That is 2-wheel drive mod buggy coming up next. One minute 15 to go. 1 minute 15 to go. Talon, Tyler, Brendan, Ryan, Josh, Dave, Gerasimos, and Mike
1 minute
is
left.
your running order. 56.1 still going to be the time to beat by Talon Henley. A full second up on Mr. Tyler Hooks at the moment. Hooks looking like he's not able to respond just yet. Still 45 seconds left on the board, so he does have a chance. Let's find our race leader on track. I believe he is working through this chicane down the straightaway now into that step table. That is correct. That is our leader. Through the switchbacks he goes. Gonna be that yellow, green, blue, yellow wheels. Coming through the skips now into the table roller. That is your leader. Tyler Hooks still gonna be in that number 2 slot. Tyler comes by with a 19 flat, so he's gonna need some pretty hot laps here, although only 5 seconds left on the board, so it looks like it is going to go to the favor of Talon for that top C. Time's expired on the clock. Keep on going till your name is called. Keep going till your name is
Gerasimos
called.
done. Talon Henley done.
Watch after the table roller.
Brendan Edwards done. Josh Parrish done. Mike Sunderland done. Dave McEwen done. Tyler Hooks done.
All right, that will be just about a race here. Ryan Cott will be the last one to finish up. Oh, but he goes for a tumble. Those who are on the blowers, make sure you blow to the next spot. That is a race.
The race is completed.
So make sure you go from 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4, 4 to 5, and 5 to 1. You will drop the blower at the next location. So the blower that was at 4 should go to
Lee
spot
sensor.
5. Get the track blown off. Oh, don't worry about in there, Rick. You're good. That's a spot that won't ever actually get touched. And if it does, it'll be because of a mistake. All right, looks like our blowers are almost finished up here. I did have 8 cars in that race, so I should have every cone filled up without any issue. Alrighty, I do have 1 open cone. We'll let these guys get their warm-up lap real quick. I do need that pink cone in the back right covered.
Darius
And
Royer.
we'll be all good to go. It looks like Mr.
Brennan
Cottle's
Schimmel.
gonna go get that. He waved his hand up at me.
Dustin Evans. Brock Champlin.
Give me just a sec.
Cole Talliard. Donnie Ward. Jason
Yep.
Ruana.
What was that? Yeah, I mean, if he's gonna crouch like that, then sure. All right, no more laps, guys. No more laps. We're gonna run a chair out to the middle cone just for good policy. Alrighty. Ooh, Darius Royer, you get to go off first. All right. Hey, Mr. Hardison, you want to run one more out to Tyler? All right, so the order is going to go Darius 1, Dustin 2, Jason 3, Lee 4, Brock 5, Donnie 6, Brennan 7, and Cole 8. So that will be your running order. Let's get everybody bunched up here. Oh, something's going down. All right, this looks good enough. Darius Royer, you will go on the tone. Dustin. Jason. Lee. Brock. Donnie. Brennan. And Cole. All right, it's reasonable spacing. Track is definitely much faster than last year, so I've got much less opportunity to actually get these guys going here. But we've got 5 minutes of driving to get top 3 consecutive laps, so that way you can seed yourself for qualifying tomorrow. For the classes that only have 1 heat, obviously you are just fighting for where you're starting tomorrow. So this is our two-wheel drive modified buggy division here. Got our fast guys on track. Third laps should be coming in shortly, and there it is. Dustin Evans, 52.8, 17.3 hot lap. Jason Rona, 56.1. Brock Champlin, 54.6. Lee Setzer, 57.6. 107.3 for Darius Royer. Cole Tyler, 54.7. Dustin Evans back by there, didn't improve. 59.4 for Schimmel. 104.5 for Ward, and Royer going to be at that 107.3. Top of the leaderboard, though, is going to be Dustin Evans, 57.8. Lee Setzer in the 2, 53.3. Champlin, 54.6. Tollard, 54.7. Rona, 56.1. Schimmel, 58.9. Ward, 104.5. Royer, 107.3. Top of the leaderboard. Now going to switch over to Brock Champlin in the Schumacher. He's headed over that sketchy double around the carousel into the skips. Oh, another change there. Dustin Evans to the top of the board, 52.6, 17 flat. That is the hot lap so far. Brock Champlin, though, he's not going to let him have it that easy. He's going to go 52.2 with a 17.1 on that last lap. 2 minutes, 55 seconds left to go. Race leader working his way over the table roller, over that single. Skies it just a little bit to that chicane. Dustin Evans in the 2 will find him on track. He is working in the center all by himself, the best place to be. Working through the chicane. Number 3 to be Lee Setzer. He's working into the sketch double now. Brock Champlin, 52 flat. That is going to be the pace at the moment for top seed as he comes over that stripe. 17.6 last time by. Let's find Evans. He's coming in through the chicane now, coming across the line. We'll see what he runs. 17 flat again. And with that open track ahead of him, he's going to have a great opportunity here to retake that top seed. Champlin by 17.2. Evans now through the chicane. 2 minutes left to go. Crosses the stripe.
2 minutes
Gonna
left.
be a 17.8. Not quite as heating at that as that 17 flat. But one more heater here could potentially set him on to the top of the board. Minute 50 to go. Champlin a long lap there, so he'll be starting fresh this time. Evans by 52.1, ran a 17.2, so not enough to take over that top slot. So it is the Schumacher of Champlin that is going to be resting on top of the leaderboard at the moment. Minute and a half to go, minute and a half to go. Through that sketch double he goes, round the carousel, into the skips, table roller, over that single, through that chicane now, down the stripe. 17.5. Still haven't seen a 16.9 out of the two-wheel drive here in these first 4 minutes. Very close, 17.020. 1 minute 2 left to go.
1 minute left.
Looks like these laps not quite super heaters as the previous ones. We'll see if they finish up with some fast ones with 45 seconds left to go. $17.1 there out of Champlin. He's coming through that sketch double, round the carousel, crests over it very nicely, through the skips, over that table roller, into the chicane, and down the stripe once again. 17.1, backs it with a 17.2, 52.075, working through the switchback now. Around that carousel, he's coming up on some traffic. Hopefully he can make it through without any issue whatsoever. Gets around that slightly spun car, down the straightaway once again. Smooth, what's it going to be? 17.7 does not improve again that time by. Time has expired on the clock. Keep driving until your name's called. Keep driving until your name is called.
Dustin Evans done. Lee Setzer done. Brock Champlin done. Darius Royer done. Brennan Schimmel done. Jason Ruana
One more to
done.
finish, one more to finish.
Cole
And that is a
Talmart done.
race. So that's going to be
All
Brock
drivers are
Champlin,
finished.
who top
race
seeds
is
your
completed.
two-wheel drive modified buggy class. Looks like all of our blowers doing a great job getting straight out to get it taken care of. Two-wheel drive stadium truck, you can start working your way up on the driver stand. Stadium truck, you can start working your way up on the stand. I got lots of unknowns in this one, so do my best like I've been to get it checked in as quickly as possible without having to have everybody go across single file. Yes. Yeah, I will. I'll let you guys know. All right, we'll let our marshals work their way out. I did have an 8-car field, so every spot should be covered.
Yeah, your end point left and right, but it takes them both down.
All righty, we'll go ahead and open the track up in just a sec. All right, track's open, guys. Track's open. Get them checked in.
Rick Blunt, Jason Rager, Brendan Edwards,
So I do have one just straight up unknown. That one's Mr.
Talon Henley,
So we're looking for Matt, Sean, and Jason. See if we get anything new this time by. No. All right, let's go ahead and set these guys behind the line. Is that Sean that just went by? All right.
Sean Redman,
And then I got a transponder for Jason.
Jason
So the one I don't have
Xentos.
is going to be Matt Olson. So let me get Matt across the line. All right, I do not have a check on that one, but I will go ahead and I'll do a hand count. Okay. All right, so it's going to go Talon, Matt, and then it's going to go Jason, Brendan, Rick, Jason, and then Sean is going to round out the field. Oh, there are two Jasons. So Jason R, you will be the first one. Jason C will be the second one. I'll make sure to do my best to specify that. So it looks like we are all set to go. It is going to be Talon on the tone. Matt. Oh. Jason R. Brendan. Rick. And Jason C. All right. So everybody is off and rolling, and I'm going to do my best to make sure that I hand count Matt as best of my ability. Oh, watch that left step tabletop. And watch coming out of the switchback into the sketch double. Four minutes, 10 seconds left on the clock. Lots and lots of time. Let a few laps come in. We'll see how we work out. Should be seeing third laps in just a moment. Looks like Talon will be my first three in. Alrighty, so it's going to be Brennan Edwards on top, 59-1. Rick Blunt, 105-7 in the 2. Talon Henley, 109-1 in the 3. Watch coming into that step table. All right, that's clear. Three minutes left to go on this one. Brendan Edwards on top, 58-2. Talon, 103-0. Rick, 105-7. Jason, 114-1. Jason R, 127-5. Matt Olson, 138-4. Sean Redman, 142-9. That is your running order at the moment. And paces, 2:37 to go, just at that halfway mark now. Brendan Edwards, 18-9 last time by. Now Talon Henley, 57-9, 18-6 last lap. That is going to be the top of the leaderboard there. 2 minutes, 20 seconds to go. Talon Henley, 18-3, continuing to drop that pace as he works his way through the switchbacks now.
2 minutes left.
2 minutes. Talon, Brendan, Rick, Matt, Jason, Jason R, and Sean is your running order. That was our race leader. Now working his way through the switchbacks. Minute 30 to go, minute 30 to go. Talon 55.4. Brendan 57.9. Rick 105.7. Matt 105.8. Jason C 112.1. Jason R 112 or what? Sorry, 121.3. Sean 142.9. Matt Olson going to jump into the number 3 slot there with a 104.2. 21.5 last lap. 1 minute 5 to go. 1 minute 5 to go. Up next will be our first heat of Indy 13.5.
1 minute left.
45 seconds left to go. 45 to go. Watch the step on table, step table, step table. Marshals are there, marshals are there. 30 seconds left, 30 seconds. Ten to go, 10 to go. Race 7 should definitely be through tech as of now because that is time on the board. Keep driving until your name's called. Keep driving until your name is called.
Talon Henley done. Matt Olson done.
And then Mr. Donnie, if you need
Jason
a refresher
Ranger
at all
done.
on the tech, Mr. Harbson's over here. He can go over everything just
Rick
as a double
Blunt
check
done.
with you.
Jason Xinto's done.
And that'll be race 9, so you still got a couple races. Oh, we got a downed car in the middle there. Couple more cars to go. Brendan and Sean are the two I'm looking for to cross. Looks like
Sean Redmond
that is
done.
a race. All right, race number 7 can start working their way up.
The race is completed.
So they get all those guys out to marshal for me. Let's get all those guys out to marshal for me. Lots of unknowns here. Seems to be a common theme, I guess. So for guys, make sure you blow to the next cone. Make sure you blow to the next cone. Alrighty. I guess the track's open.
Joe Eastridge.
All right, I believe the Eddie Henley is going to be Alton.
Alton Henley.
Rick Tosfanen.
Rick Tossavanen. Chris Weishart.
Weishar,
Dwayne Pryor.
And then Sean and Matthew aren't here. All right, let's go ahead and close the straightaway down. Let's close the straightaway down. Let's get all my marshals out there. Should have all 7 spots covered. Should have all 7 covered without any issue at all. So let's stop them on the straight. Stop between the 2 and the 4. Between the 2 and the 4. All right, so. Oh. I just got to check for Rice. He's in the next one. We'll dismiss that. Audio is good. Alrighty, looks like I've got marshal spots covered. So we're going to go Dwayne 1, Chris 2, Joe 3, Alton 4, and Rick 5. I've got 5 of my 7 in this one. The other guys should be in tomorrow. So again, to be Dwayne on the 1, and I will call the rest of you guys off. Looks like we're all set to go. Chris. Matthew. Oh, sorry. Joe. Forgot. Alton. And Rick. All right, we're off and away. Hey, Mr. Hardison, just as a heads up, for some reason it won't show me the it shows me the result, but it won't show me the top 3 consecutive on the estimated position. So we'll have to get that adjusted. Although that'll only be a matter of for seeding. So we'll get that adjusted later. I don't know why. Especially because we're timing based off top 3 consecutive, so it should automatically default to show my estimated position as top 3 consecutive, but that would be too easy. All right, we're going to have Chris Weishar, 101.5, Joe Eastridge, 104.2, Alton, 106.3, Dwayne, 123 flat, and Rick, 113.3. That is the running order at the moment. Maybe if I change that. No, still not doing it for some reason. That's okay. Alrighty, so it's going to be Joe Eastridge in that number 1 slot at the moment. 101.1. Chris Weishar, 101.5. Rick, 106.2. Alton, 106.3. Dwayne, 113.7. This is race number 7 on track. We are 2 minutes left to go. So race number 8, you should be in tech. Race 8 should be in tech. And working their way
2 minutes left.
Joe Eastridge going to be at the top of the board right now. 59.2, continuing to drive that time down to 19.4. Chris Weishar, 59.9. Rick Tossavainen, 105.6. Alton, 106.3. Dwayne, 113.7. That is my current running order and paces at the moment. For our first heat of 13.5 Indy four-wheel drive buggy. Find our race leader on track. Working through the skips right now. He's going to be that silver and green. Now coming through the chicane, down the straightaway, crossing the stripe, crossing the line there. 59.2 still going to be the pace. Race number 8 should be in tech or
1
through
minute
it
left
at the moment. Watch the sketchy double. Watch the sketch double. Marshall is there. All right, we are all clear. 50 seconds left to go. Hey, Mr. Hardison, I sent you a message just as a heads up. 40 seconds left to go. 40 seconds left to go. Joe Eastridge, 59.2. Chris Weishar, 59.9. That's our leader going by there. 19.7 for his last lap. 30 seconds left to go. I don't see a, under settings, I don't see a, like an option for it. That is time. That is time as you cross. Keep going just in case you are still alive. Keep going just in case you are still alive. Your name will be called when you're done. Yeah, right here on the right.
Alton Henley
As you
done.
cross this time by, you'll be done.
Chris
As you cross
Weishar
this
done.
time by, you'll be done.
Dwayne Pryor
So
done.
no more laps will need to be
Rick
made.
Tossavainen done.
That is a race.
Joe
So it's going to be
Eastridge
Joe
done.
Eastridge
All drivers are
who's
finished.
going to set our early pole position here. Those of you that have blowers, make sure you blow to the next blower spot.
The race is completed.
So I'll let you guys know when track is open. I'll let you know when track is open. So for guys, make sure you go to your next cone. All right, looks like those two are done. Our three here in the middle are finishing up. Let me get all of my marshals out there. I should have 5, so my 5 marshals from that race will all go to a blower spot. So you will go to a blower spot because I only had 5 marshals. So need all my marshals to a blower spot. Those are all marked by painted numbers and arrows. So let's see. I got Mr. Eastridge out there. I got Mr. Weishar. Mr. Alton. Alton, can I get you at this middle blue cone 5? And then let me get Dwayne at the orange cone in the back there, just so we can make sure all of the blowers are covered. Alrighty, track is open, guys. Track is open.
Joe Spiegel, David Allen, Bryce Holmlund, Ray Seabaugh, Eric Pryor, Brandon Davis, Steve Pryor.
All right, no more laps, no more laps, no more laps. All right, looks like we're only missing 1 car. So we're all set to go. We're just missing Gerasimos, but I don't see an extra car out there. All right, so it's going to go Brandon, David, Bryce, Steve, Ray, Joe, and Eric. 7 cars. We'll have 7 cars. All right, so Mr. Brandon Davis on the tone. David. Bryce. Steve. Ray. Joe. And Eric, whenever you're ready. All right, everybody is hot. Everybody is hot. TQ right now, 59.2. So let these guys get some laps in. And then Mr. Donnie Ward, if you could start making your way to the tech. Then Mr. Hardison will switch off with me, and then we'll have a nice flow here. So again, if I get Mr. Ward to the tech area, that way we can get that all sorted out. Love you, buddy. You're a great guy. 4 minutes. 4 minutes. Brandon Davis going to be the first one in with 59.1. He is going to go to the top of the board there. Steve Pryor. Oh, well, actually, we'll let these guys filter through, and then I'll start announcing. All right, I believe that is everybody through. So it's going to be Joe Spiegel, 56.3. Brandon Davis, 59.1. Steve Pryor, 1 minute point 4. David Allen, 1 minute point 5. Ray Seabaugh, 101 flat. Eric, 101.5. Bryce, 108.4. So Joe Spiegel is going to go to the top of the board with that 55.9 now. See if we can find him on track. He is working his way through the chicane, down the straightaway, crossing the stripe. Over that tabletop, into that drop-down switch, back over the sketch double he goes, nice and smooth, 55.9. That is the pace. 3 minutes to go, 3 minutes to go. well, that's not gone well. All better. 2 minutes, 40 seconds left on the clock. 2 minutes, 40 seconds left on the clock. Spiegel, 53-1, 17-6 last time by.
Two minutes left.
One minute, 50 seconds left to go. Joe Spiegel in that number one slot, 53-1. Spiegel 1, 53-1. Davis 59-1. Homeland 59-7. Pryor 1 minute 1. Pryor. Oh, there's two Pryors. So we got switch up here. So it's Spigs 1, Brandon Davis 2. Those times are the same. David Allen now 59-2. Ray Seabaugh, he's going to jump up in the number 2 slot with a 58-4. Bryce Holman 59-7. Eric Pryor 1 minute point 1. Steve 1 minute point 4. So it is going to be Spigs on that top slot. Drops his hot lap 17-3, but he tumbles. So that lap, unfortunately, not really going to get used for anything here. 50 seconds left to go. 50 seconds. Spiegel, Seabaugh, Allen, Davis, Homeland, Pryor, and Steve Pryor. Twenty seconds left to go. 20 seconds left to go on the master clock. Remember, guys, keep on driving until your name is called, just in case you do get that extra lap in, because you never know. That could be the lap that separates you from 15th to pole. So you always want to make sure you finish out strong. 5 seconds left on the master. 5 on the master. Keep going, keep going, keep going.
Bryce Holmlund done.
Bryce
Brandon
is the only
Davis
one done. Bryce is the only one done. Brandon is
David
done.
Allen done.
Everybody will be done this
Ray
time
Seabaugh
by.
done.
This time by, everybody will be done. All my marshals are on blower spots, so you guys know the drill. Make sure you blow to your next cone.
Eric Pryor done. Steve Pryor done.
And that
Joe
is
Spiegel done.
a race. That is a race.
All drivers
stop, all
are
stop.
finished. The race is completed.
Alrighty, so if you are marshaling at a blower, you need to blow from your spot to the next blower spot.
Colby Seabaugh. Jason Rager. Mike Shirley. Wendell Rocketten. David Jacalone.
All right, so I need marshals at least at the blower spots. All right, looks like I got marshals at the blower spots. So I'm looking for Marcus. Well, no, I think he's here. Nolan and Wade to check. Nolan and Wade to check.
Nolan Hunt.
So I got Nolan. Okay.
Gerasimos Galos.
Oh, Schimmel is Wade. Oh, okay.
Wade Piggott.
All right. So we have everybody because Marcus Butler's not here. I got Marshall's. All right, Wade, Jason, Mike, David, Nolan, Wendell, Colby. Yep. I'm not even going to try to butcher that name. There we go. Everybody's on the track. Looking for some fast and consistent. Oh, well, if you're going to jump off, then it's a good thing to go ahead and jump into a Marshall. Oh, that sketchy double's catching a couple people, getting started here. Careful now. All right, everybody's got 3 laps in, and Wade is leading us around at a 54.8. Wendell, 55.9. David, 56.4. Nolan, 102. Colby, 105. Mike, 106. Jason, 114. And we're just going to call this fella G at 104.1. Ooh, the pipe is nasty. Nasty things happen with the pipe. So with 3 consecutive laps, you make a mistake, you just get past the line and get started again. You have plenty of time to get 3 consecutive laps with laps as fast as what this track is putting down. Wade still hanging on to his 54.2. Wendell on a 55.9. David 56.4. Watch the Marshall.
2 minutes left.
Wade is quite the fast driver at 17 flat as a hot lap. That's definitely expert time right there. That's a stupid fast. Wade is actually now down to
1 minute left.
53.1. Now he's down to a 52.6. So David on a 56.4, G on a 58.4, Colby on a 59.5, Nolan still hanging on to his 102, Mike Shirley 103, and Jason 106. Alrighty, that is the master clock. Keep driving until your name is called.
Jason Ranger done. David J. Cologne
All
done.
right, you will be done as
Mike
you
Shirley
cross the
done.
line. You will be done
Wade Pickett done.
as you cross the line now.
Nolan Hunt done. Wendell Rocket and done. Gerasimos
Colby
Galenos
is the only
done.
one alive. Colby is the only
Colby
one
Seabaugh
alive.
done.
And that is
All
a
drivers are
race.
finished. The race is completed.
So Wade with a blistering top consecutive 3. Use the really cool box, put your car in there, and go out to Marshall. If you are marshalling, please blow off your zone. I think Green Cone Guy didn't do his zone.
Josh Parrish.
All right, who might be Eric Dunlow? Anybody with a transponder? Okay, so who should I? Okay, hold on. There's Rick Blunt. Let me get him.
Rick Blunt.
And there's Bryce.
Bryce Holm Lund.
Oh, Dave.
Darius Royer.
Yeah. Joe Benny. Brendan Edwards. Oh, this, okay. Eddie, Joe. All right, so you're Ray. So he's Ray. That's Ray. I don't have you in the list. Oh, Ryan. Okay, never mind. My bad.
Joe Eastridge. Ryan Cottle.
All right, so I'm still looking for Eddie and Brendan Edwards. There's Brendan. All right.
Brandon Edwards.
And there's Eddie. All right.
Eddie Henley.
Okay, so I got everybody. I got Marshall. I got all my Marshalls. I got all my cars. All right, we're going to go drive in. I'll call your name. Oh, yeah, go ahead. Sorry, my bad. I was thinking you guys were already doing it. All right, we'll bring it onto the straight, right? On this time by, bring it onto the straight. Okay, I'll call your name. Brendan. Bryce, Josh, Darius, Eddie, Joe, Rick, Ryan. All right, Brendan's first man by with 3 laps at 101. Josh and Darius right behind him, 103, 104. Eddie with a 104. Joe Eastrich with a 104. So we got some tight guys up here towards the top. Oh, Brendan dropping into the 59s now. Ryan at a 1 flat. Josh at 102.5. Darius 103.4. Eddie 104.2. Joe Eastrich 108.8. Oh, Josh now dropping down into that 59 category. 1/10 of a second behind Brendan. That's going to be a fun fight. Darius Royer using the wall to stay in bounds. $13.5 expert should be coming to Tech. Two minutes to go. Oh, man, down on the tabletop.
2 minutes left.
Watch the marshal on the tabletop. Yeah, that sketchy double, if you get it wrong, it's going to throw you out wide. It's awesome we called a feature a sketchy double.
Transponder 6978973.
Brendan Edwards down to the 58 now. Josh still on that 59.6. Ryan 1 minute flat. I think he dropped off a couple hundreds on that last pass. Eddie on a 102.8. Darius 103.1. 1 minute to go.
1 minute left.
Still can get 3 laps in. It's pretty dang close. Keep driving until your name is called.
Brendan Edwards done. Bryce Holmlund done. Darius Royer done.
Darius Royer did drop his time down to 1:02.4.
Eddie Henley done.
You will be done as you cross. You will be done as you cross.
Ryan Cottle done. Rick Blunt done.
Josh is the only one
Joe
alive.
Eastridge
Josh
done.
is technically alive. Okay, we're going to call it a day.
The race is completed.
All right, please use the blowers if you were at a blower spot. Garrett's going first. Big dog Garrett.
Tyler Hooks. Jacob Hardison. Garrett Hawbaker.
I got a Frank Howard in here. That's Mike.
Mike Sunderland.
All right, looks like everybody blew off their spots. Track should be open for a lap of looks like we need a man either on the green, on the white cone.
Talon Henley.
All right, so we got everybody checked, so let's line them up on the front grid. As soon as we get our man around here. All right, so we got marshals, we got drivers. Here we go. I'll call your name. Garrett, Jacob, Talon, Mike, Tyler. So our first class of fast 13.5 guys. We have another heat of them coming up. Heat number 12. Oh man, down. Everybody's got at least 3 laps in. Jacob Hardison leading us around at 50.4. Tyler Hooks at a 51.2. Garrett at a 51.7. Talon at a 53.8. And a Mike Sutherland at a 57.6. So everybody's sub 1. Uh-oh. Three minutes to go. Talon up to 50.7 on that last pass. We're halfway through. Our leader, the orange buggy, over the sketchy double. Tyler and Talon running together there. Out to the back.
Two minutes left.
Tyler Hooks leading on the fastest lap at 16.545. But he hasn't quite been able to put 3 of those together yet, but if he does, it'll be magic. Consistency wins races, though. 1 minute 12 to go.
Transponder 6232105. 1 minute left.
Down to the last 15 seconds. I don't think anybody is in a position to improve at this juncture.
Garrett Hawbaker done. Talon Henley done. Jacob Hardison done. Tyler Hooks
All
done.
right, so as it stands, Jacob Hardison seeds out 1 at 50.4 and Talon right behind him at 50.7.
Mike Sunderland done. All drivers are finished.
50.8, so I mean that's a tight group at the top, super tight.
The race is completed.
Let the blower guys do their thing. All the way to the end, buddy. See that chicane, though. Feels good to you? So if you were in the last race, yeah, that's fine. So I will need my marshals on blower spots this time. So if you don't have a blower, please go to a spot that does. Could somebody bring batteries from the shop for the blowers so we can swap them out? All right, let's go ahead and we only have 3 guys.
Ryan Cottle.
What's happening, guys? Hope you guys are doing well. Getting this 13.5 4-wheel drive buggy dialed in out here. We're out here at Adrenaline RC Raceway. Trying to figure out this track overall. Track's a little loose. A little looser than we're used to. Well, you guys are doing well, but there's some heavy hitters this weekend. We should see four-wheel drive mod coming up after this, but we're getting everything dialed in. We had the travel day from All Heck yesterday, but we're here. We're set up. We'll get some more camera angles going and everything like that for tomorrow's qualifying and main events. We were able to get this up and going for you guys to follow it up. So hopefully you guys are enjoying the live feed. Thank you to JConcepts for bringing us out once again to their awesome INS and NCTS series. We were here at Adrenaline RC Racing last year and decided to come back this year again. It's a very unique track. As you can see, it is a fully covered track. They race 8 scales in here as well, so pretty cool to get out of the elements. So hopefully you guys are doing well, and we'll keep it rocking over here. Thank you, guys.
Oops. I think this may have been Joe Fioca's very first lap. All right, everybody's got at least 3 laps in so far. Ryan is leading us around at the 54.5 mark. Jacob Allen at 55.1. Joe Fioca 57.5. And Josh at 101. So we still have 3 minutes and 15 seconds to improve our spots. Ooh, the sketchy double takes yet another victim. Okay. Okay. All right, Ryan holding on to a 54.5. Jacob Allen knocking on his door at 54.7. Joe Fioca 57.5 and Josh at 58.9. So everybody is sub 1.
Two minutes left.
Ryan does improve by a couple hundredths of a second on that last pass. He's at 54.427 now. Oh, Josh improving now. He's at a 57.3 with that last pass. And also an 18-second lap. That was definitely quite the improvement.
1 minute left.
Ryan also improving a smidge, down a tenth to 54.1. Josh now on a 54.2, so he's improved. Jacob Allen on a 54.7. Joe on a 57.5. Joe Fiuk is now on a 56.5. Keep driving until your name is called. Oh, Joe Fiuk now down to 55.5.
Jacob Allen done.
And everybody will be done when they hit the line. Everybody will be done when they cross. So full drive.
Ryan Throttle
is up
done.
next.
Josh Parrish done. Joe Fiocca done.
And I
All
think
drivers
Jacob
are
Hartzell will be
finished.
taking back the mic.
Transponder 6 transponder 10460741.
All right.
Transponder
Swap it over real quick.
214668.
Alrighty. So I will need one volunteer marshal just because Javon
Rob
isn't
Isaac.
here yet. He'll be here tomorrow, so
Garrett
he'll be good then.
Hawbaker.
Well, I need one marshal for tomorrow, or for this time. Not yet. Wait for marshals. All right, so Ryan will go to the blower. So if I could get one marshal to help me out on the turn one, this
Dave
yellow
McEwen.
cone. Track's open, guys. Track's open. But if I get one person to help me
Joe
out
Spiegel.
on that yellow cone, I'll only need
Darius
that
Royer.
for today. Just because Javon, unfortunately, didn't make it today, but he will be here tomorrow, so that'll just be a today thing. All right, stripe is closed. Stripe is closed. Thank you, Mr. Henley. I really appreciate it. All right, so we got 5 cars in this. It'll go Rob Isaac, Garrett Hallbaker, Darius Royer, Dave McEwen, and Joe Spiegel. And I'll make sure that you guys have plenty of space. Also, if somebody needs a blower battery, I can swap a blower out. There's a big blower sitting on the metal grate at the staircase. So if one does kink out, we do have a replacement. All right, we got some marshals, we got some drivers. Rob Isaac, you will go on the tone. Hallbaker. Royer. McEwen. And Spiegel whenever you're ready. This is our first heat for four-wheel drive modified buggy. With 10 cars, we did have to split it to a 5 and 5. I think 10 on this track would be a little on the tight side for mains. Mains will be a full 10-car field, but for qualifying, figured I might as well give you guys a little bit of open space. That way it's not super crowded while we have the opportunity. And we've got the time, ultimately. So, all right. Second lap's coming through now, so we'll get paces in just a moment. Hallbaker, the fastest one out of the gate, 16.8, backs it with a 16.9, then a 17.1, so a 51.0 is going to be the pace right now for Hallbaker. He's sitting on top. Rob Isaac and Darius Royer, they come by. Royer, 56.9, Isaac, 103.3. Spiegel comes by, 53.2. McEwen, 56.1. 3 minutes, 40 seconds left to go. It slid right into that pocket. 3 minutes, 20 seconds on the clock. 51.0 out of Hallbaker. Spiegel, 52.0. McEwen, 56.1. Royer, 56.2. Isaac, 57.5. That is the running order at the moment. Hot lap still going to go to Hallbaker to 16.8. Spiegel, though, did run a 16.9, but he backed it up with a 24.8, so that won't count for much at all in seating, unfortunately. Approaching the halfway mark right now. Got one more race to go after this, one more race to go after this, of which I think all those guys are probably already through tech. Race 14 should be in or through tech. Hallbaker on top, 51.0. Spiegel, Royer, McEwen, and Isaac, your running order at the moment in seating round number 1. Also, just as a reminder, at the conclusion of seating, we will be having a clinic on track. There will be a clinic on track. So anybody who is interested in that, that will happen at the conclusion of seating. So it'll be probably about 6:15 if I had to guess. It's 5:45 now. Finalizing races should put us right at about 5:55, give or take. We'll give a couple minutes for the guys to get set up for the clinic.
2 minutes left.
We'll be very, very shortly after. Minute 55 to go. Minute 55 to go. Hallbaker, 51.0, still going to be on that top slot. Watch the tabletop on the left, the step table on the left. All clear, all clear. Spiegel last time was a 17.2, backs it with a 17.4. He's down to a 52.061, so he improved just marginally there. See if he can't take over a provisional pole. So far, though, Hallbaker doing a very, very good job out in front. He's run a 17 every single lap, with the exception of the couple 16s he ran. His last set of laps here, last 10, have all been low 17s. So very, very solid drive there. 1 minute 5 to go, 1 minute 5 to go. Spiegel, he gets it wrong. So with 1 minute left to go, he'll start a fresh 3 also.
1 minute
so we'll see
left.
how these guys work out with 1 minute left to go, 1 minute to go. .45 to go, 45 to go. Hallbaker's still going to be our top guy. Spiegel, though, 17.1 that time by. .30 seconds left to go. But Spiegel backs with an 18.2. That could soil that 3 there. Still going to have a heater on his last lap that could move him up potentially. We'll see how it goes. 15 seconds left, so make sure you keep on driving. Make sure you keep driving. Keep going until your name is called. That is time on the clock. Keep going, keep going, keep going. Keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. Still alive, still alive. Darius Royer is the only one done. Royer is the only one done. Rob Isaac is done. As you cross the line this time by, you'll be finished. As you cross this time by, you will be finished.
Joe Spiegel transponder 26195
And that
37.
is a
All
race.
drivers
Hall
are
Baker going to
finished.
sit on provisional pole with a 51.0.
The race is completed.
They get those 5 guys out to marshal. Remember, guys, if one of the blowers do die, I did just replace 2 batteries. If one dies, I've got a replacement, although this is the last blow it's going to have, so hopefully it lasts the couple seconds it needs. So I will need all 5 of those guys out to marshal on the 5 blower spots. Obviously, it's the last race, so we won't need to blow after this one. But the blower spots is a nice even spread around the entire track. All right, we got Hallbaker going out. We got Spiegel out there. I got Royer out there. So it looks like Spiegel's going to the orange on the left. Hallbaker's in the middle. We got Isaac on the yellow. So I'll need McEwen and... Oh. I should have... Yeah, McEwen will be my last one over on the 2, which will be the green cone. That will round out our marshals. You guys are free to take your warm-up laps. You're free to take your warm-up lap.
Cole Talliard, Brennan Schimmel, Dustin Evans, Brock Champlin.
All right. You guys are free to take one more warm-up lap if you'd like, and then we'll stop on the grid next time by. So Schimmel should be my last one taking a lap here. You guys are welcome for one more. You are welcome for one more. Looks like Evans is content. So as soon as Schimmel gets back to the grid, we will go ahead and get started. It'll be Schimmel 1, Setzer 2, Tollard 3, Champlin 4, and Evans 5. Alrighty. So also, since we're doing that clinic at the conclusion of seating, the track will be closed for that duration, just as a heads up, and then at the conclusion of that, we'll announce if there's any open track after, just as a heads up. So no open practice until after the seating at least. So again, Schimmel, Setzer, Tollard, Champlin, Evans. We've got marshals. We've got some drivers. Schimmel on the tone. Setzer. Tollard, Champlin, and Evans whenever you're ready. All right, there it is. Everybody's on clock. Got the man T-Hooks up here getting some video. Dang, these guys coming out fast here. Fastest first lap out of the gate goes to Dustin Evans with a 16.2. We'll let these guys get their 2-3 laps in, and we will get an idea of how we're looking. $16.296, backs it with a 16.298. Matching lap times to the 100th. All right, there's our first 3 in. Dustin Evans, 49.5, 16.296, 16.298, and a 16.971. That is a solid way to start. So it is going to be Dustin Evans in that top slot as he comes across the stripe there. Champlin in the 2, 50.1. Setzer, 50.2. Schimmel, 50.5. Tollard, 50.6. Schimmel now 49.8. So we got 2 drivers down to the 49s, 3 down to the 49s. Tollard, 49.7. Champlin, 49.8. So our top 4 guys all in the 49s right now, but 49.5 is going to be at the top of that board. Watch the end of the straightaway. End of the straightaway going into... End of the straightaway, guys. End of the straightaway. Three minutes. Tollard now to the top of the board. 49.3. Evans, 49.4. Champlin, 49.6. Schimmel, 49.8. Setzer, 50.2. Hot lap now goes to Champlin, 16.282. So our top 4 guys all in those 49s at the moment. 49.3 for Tollard in that fresh TLR ride for 2023. Watch going into, clear now. 2 minutes, 25 seconds left to go. Race leader going to be that yellow and pink, a little bit of blue scattered in there. Cole Tollard. Dustin Evans in the 2. He's going to be that yellow, purple, and blue. Those guys working together, actually, through the switchbacks here. Champlin going to be in that 3. He's coming through the chicane. He's going to be that, it's kind of greenish blue. We'll go with that. Greenish blue.
2 minutes left.
Tollard in that number 1 slot. Still Evans resets hot lap there, 16.273. So 16.2 seems to be the edge these guys are hitting at the moment. Setzer now, he drops down into the 49s, 49.9 as his top 3 consecutive. 49.1 though for Dustin Evans as he comes by the line there. 16.5, 16.2, 16.2, another 16.298. So 2 identical lap times in this run for him. 16.192 for Champlin that time by. He could be at play here for a top seed. He's coming through the skips, over that table roller, into the sky jump, through the chicane, down the straightaway he comes. 1 minute 15 to go, drops a 16.3, 49.1. Evans, though, he's down to a 48.8, 16.2, 16.3, 16.2. Let's see what Champlin can do as he comes through that chicane for that 3rd lap to lock it in. Down the
1
straightaway
minute
he
left.
comes. It's going to be a 48.842. Misses it by 0.02 of a second right now. So it is still going to be Evans in that top slot. Champlin still has a play here with 45 seconds left to go. 2 drivers in the 48s, and they both have 48.8s. Champlin by 16.1, 48.7 now going to be the pace. 16.3, 16.3, 16.1. Champlin at the top of the leaderboard with 30 seconds left to go. It goes Champlin, Evans, Tollard, Schimmel, and Setzer. 2 drivers in the 48s, very close together, but only one can come out on pole position. Right now, it is going to the favor of Brock Champlin in the Schumacher. Coming to that chicane once again. 10 seconds left to go. Keep driving, keep driving, keep driving. Everybody will still be hot as they cross the line. 16.3 last time there for Tollard. He has a 16.4 back with a 16.3. Tollard can make a play here. Still alive, Tollard, still alive. Keep going, keep going. Schimmel is the only one done. Schimmel is the only one done. Champlin another 16.1 that lap. Could improve on his top 3. Tollard 2 16.3s in a row.
Cole Tollard done.
As you cross the line, you will be done.
Champlin
As you
done.
cross the line, you will be done. And another 16.1 out of Champlin, 48.6.
Dustin Evans done.
And that is a race. So
All drivers
Champlin
are
is
finished.
going to take top spot with that 48.6. Evans 48.8. Tollard 49.1. Schimmel 49.8. And Setzer 49.9. That is a race. And that concludes
The
seeding.
race is completed.
Oh, you guys are good on the blowers. That concludes seeding, so you're good. If you guys want to actually bring the blowers and just set them on the this metal table over here, and I'll get the batteries all taken care of.
Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Tracks closed for practice. Tracks closed for practice.
Of our clinic, we will determine based on time if the track will be open. So we will keep everybody posted on that. So it's 5:57 now. I would say that probably about 6:15 will be our clinic. 6:15 roughly. Also, I am going to go ahead and start creating our qualifying round. I'm going to do my best to keep it the exact same order we just ran. I just got to make sure that I don't have any weird back-to-back issues. So assuming that there are no issues there, it should be the same order. I should have it all set up within the next half hour, and I will upload it onto LiveRC, so everybody will get a heads up on where they will be racing tomorrow for Q1. And I think that concludes it. We'll see everybody at the clinic. Yeah, you might need to fill it up with air.
Hey guys, so I think they're going to have a clinic after this. I'm going to keep it live for you guys and see if the clinic pops open here, and kind of a cool part of it. So thank you.
All right, so just to let everybody know, I do have some back-to-back issues with running the exact same order. I will try to keep it as retained as possible, but I do want to make everybody aware that there will be some slight changes to the program from the order we just ran, purely because there will be some back-to-backs. I will do my very best to retain it as best as possible, but I do want to make everybody aware. If I could get Darius Royer to the booth, please. If I get Darius Royer to the booth, please. Just Darius Royer. I think he's sitting right outside, so hopefully he can make his way in here. Yep, there he is. All right. So that concludes my one back-to-back. So it is slightly different. So it's going to go mod buggy, 17.5 Indy, two-wheel drive mod buggy, then 17.5 expert. So 17.5 expert and two-wheel drive mod will be flipped from what seating was. Then we'll go to 13.5 Indy, which is the same. And then the other change is that stadium truck and short course, the back half basically gets changed. Mod buggy, short course, stadium truck, and 13.5. So again, there is a slight change to how it's set up. Mod buggy, mod four-wheel drive buggy, you are going to be races 10 and 11 now. So you will be moved up, just as a heads up. In 13.5, you're going to be moved back to 13 and 14. Stadium truck is also pushed back. So this was the best way to do it without having a bunch of back-to-backs at all. So just keep that in mind. I did my best to make sure everybody had some space, but there's only so much I can really do. So I am going to go ahead and print out the lineup. So it will be listed. All right. That's coming out now. So this will be for qualifying in the morning. This will be for qualifying in the morning. So doors open at 8. We'll start racing at 9. So race 1 will be at 9 a.m. And then I'll run inside real quick, get a confirmation on our clinic, and I will make that official announcement momentarily. Alrighty, I've got confirmation from Mr. Rona. The clinic will be on track at 6:20. 6:20. That should be 10 minutes out. So 10 minutes out, and we will do our clinic. All right. Want to make one more announcement. We do have a crawler comp that is going on over the weekend, so we'd like to ask that nobody goes over and messes with that course at all. They have spent an okay amount of time prepping it for tomorrow. You're more than welcome to look at it, but please don't move any rocks or disrupt it in any way. Thank you very much. Alrighty, everybody, just a couple more minutes till we have our clinic out at the track. So if you are interested in participating in the clinic, that will be in just a few minutes. Let me see what the exact time is right now. It is 6:17, so 3 minutes out. We are 3 minutes out for the clinic presented by JConcepts out at the track. Heat sheets are being posted for tomorrow now. Heat sheets are being posted now.
Hey guys, we're getting ready to start this little clinic. We're going to be doing a track walk. So if you're interested in taking a track walk with Lee and Jason and Brock, head on out here to the track. We believe they're going to provide some fantastic insight. Cole Tollard's ready. So again, this is happening right about now, so head on over.
All right, check 1, 2. I think we want everybody to come close to us here. Lee wants to get a little closer in here. So a couple things we're going to do here is Lee's going to obviously walk us through this thing. We'll add some input with Tyler Hooks. We got some other pros over here. Brock Champlin, Dustin, Brendan Schimmel, and of course, Cole Tollard. We're going to kind of move it in so we don't have to use the mic. It's okay.
as we work our way down the straightaway here, I definitely do agree with Jason that you kind of are at an arc, and you can definitely see the groove in the track. So we get to the straightaway.
This track obviously flies that way, and then we're basically on the width of the track. It's super easy to get to the end of straightaway and way overcook it, and then you're basically ruining your whole next lap because you're going to miss the end of the straightaway. So it's almost like you can err on the side of caution on when to let off the gas and initiate the corner instead of kind of blasting through it and then like ruining a whole other lap. So that's the thing I've personally been trying to work on, is like I really want to like go really fast down the straightaway, but then I'll overcook the corner, do something dumb. So sometimes you can break even earlier than you really want to think that you can, and then you can have a much better arc off the straightaway because the line is pretty narrow and it gets really dusty on the outside. So.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I see is when you're doing this is you have the tendency to drive really hard into the straightaway, but reality is you want to be in here somewhere with the car squared up for this big jump. And if you're out here, there's no traction, there's all the dust, there's all the rocks, and you just don't want to be there at all. You want to be in here, I don't know, preferably probably in this area. If you're hot shot wherever Brock is, he's probably right here somewhere. But the reality is, I mean, you're probably going to be in here. And then that gives you a nice place. I mean, right here in the logo of this jump, this is probably the best place to hit it. The shape is nice. I mean, when you're looking at this thing, the shape of the jump is really nice right here. It kind of falls off over here. So what ends up happening is if you're out here, the car falls off too. It's going to fall off the jump. You're going to hit the wood. So you kind of want to be in here with the car square to this thing so that it's going to jump as square as possible, because otherwise you're too wide or you're too inside. It gets loose. You can't get back on the track. So all your drive is going to be right here.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, and speaking on the drive part, I mean, you can see that the edges of the jump, there's no tread marks. There's no where you can see the chassis has been scraping, or you can see the groove. The groove is literally like right here at the AR logo. That's it right there. So that also tells you that is the preferred line. That's the line that all the cars take. And kind of going back to what Jason said about drive, that's going to give you the most pop, the most drive. You're going to have the most stability going up there where the car won't kind of break loose, before you take off. I mean, we've all done it. Like the car, breaks loose as you're going up the jump, and then the thing does a cartwheel, and you got to try and save it in the air. So yeah, this is the preferred spot for sure. This is right in the middle, and if you actually look straight ahead, you'll land in the middle of the group. Because if you're too far on the outside, you kind of fall off. Even if you do make it, you're in the dust. You're kind of in the no man's land type area, right, where you can kind of save the car, but you lose that momentum going into the rest of the track. So yeah, you definitely want to be right where the AR logo is, and you can definitely see that that's where most of the cars are going with the chassis scraping. It's kind of forming its own kind of little kick almost, right? It's kind of forming over time of us driving. It's taking its own shape as we drive over the track. So
and one thing I'll say too is looking at this jump is if you're looking at obstacles, this is like what I would consider like a nicely built jump, because everyone thinks that the car jumps because of this up here, but really it jumps with the transition and leading up to it. So if you don't have any on any of these tracks, carpet tracks are usually the worst. When anybody that builds their carpet track first, they always build triangle. We call them Dorito jumps, and the cars just hate them. But this is why the cars jump so well, is when you have these transitions, these big transitions at the bottom, and then it gradually tapers up and it rounds off the top. That's why they jump so nice, and that's what they try to recreate on a carpet track, is trying to cut wood and everything else to make that transition nice. But that's why it feels so good when you drive through here and hit it right, is because it has a nice transition to it and the car doesn't make any erratic movements.
Yeah, I mean, you can also see, like, where Jace was talking about, that it doesn't lift off of the peak. There's no markings. Like, this right here is it. There's no markings at the peak, at the white line. There's nothing at the top. So the car is really not even touching the tip of the jump. It's all about the part before it. How smooth is the transition leading from flat to elevated surface. That's really the most important part. So, yeah, you definitely want to be in the middle here, and I think that's kind of super crucial to setting up a good next lap.
Yeah, what we see a lot is there's sometimes jumps will be made where they'll just cut a triangle into the ground, and especially an 8 scale, and they'll try to hit it at 40 miles an hour and try to jump 40 feet. But all the car does is it just, we call it donkey flip. This is the old way we would say it, but and that's what happens. But you can go much further, much smoother, much longer with that kind of transition, and then it feels right. When you try to jump 30, 40 feet with a buggy and you don't have any transition to the jump, it's just a mess, and a lot of breakage, a lot of possibilities for crashes. So that's why a lot of these things feel so nice to drive on, is because they're built nice.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, definitely this is probably a very good jump to model off of what you would want, a takeoff to be, right? I mean, every time we hit this jump, like, the car basically does the same thing all the time in the air. You take off, you hit the brake, you land at the end of the tabletop. It doesn't do anything funky, unless you're, hitting it from here, maybe out there. But if you hit it in the spot where the groove is, it does the same thing every lap. So, yeah, definitely important that you kind of pay attention to what spot of the jump that you're hitting it on. And it's actually kind of nice that the Adrenaline logos are on these jumps, because it's actually where all the best spots to jump the jump are. So it kind of gives you a little bit of a kind of like a signal or a reference point, to kind of put your car. You're not kind of guessing. You have something to look at. So,
all right, so we'll keep moving here. I mean, this is a huge jump for a 10 scale track, really. I mean, the fact that I'm sure 17.5s are jumping up here somewhere. I don't know if 17.5 go all the way over this thing or no.
I think they're closer to this middle area here.
Yeah, and I mean, this is a pretty monster jump for 10 scale, but the transition, there's a lot of width here. There's a nice downside. It really kind of allows you to, even if you jump to here and you can drive off of it, there's not just some big ledge here that you fall off of. You kind of drive down it. And if you're fortunate enough to be able to jump the whole thing, you got a big range to work with. You can work from here all the way probably down to here, and you can kind of land in any of those areas and still have a nice landing. And I think that's kind of the nice part about having a dirt track, is you can build this kind of a landing.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, when you take off from that jump, and if you're running, if you are lucky enough to have some power, you have that grip, that acceleration, that drive out of the corner, and you do land here, I mean, you definitely have a good bit of area to work with. I mean, even if you kind of landed on the flat a little bit, it's such a smooth transition down that it won't really buck the car. Like, if it was a hard lip edge, right, it would kind of buck the car. The rear would. It was like when you case that double, like the car bucks, it would kind of be in a similar fashion, that it would just kind of nosedive on itself. It would donkey flip, basically. So, I mean, even if you landed somewhere right around here, you really don't honestly feel like the hard impact, or that you kind of miss the downside. But yeah, definitely a smooth transition here, which if you do hit the transition, the downside, you have so much more momentum that you're carrying into the next feature of the track, or the corner tabletop, or the elevation corner. But no, super important that that even if you don't downside, you kind of land on the top, that you kind of are a little bit patient too, right? Because I can't tell you how many times that I've downsided this or whatever, and I've overshot the next corner because you're carrying, and it's going away from you too, which is always harder, right? Like, usually jumps that are in front of you at a diagonal or sideways view, super easy to judge, right? You can kind of see where your car is going to land. It's a lot easier to judge speed. But when you're going away from you, it's way harder to kind of judge the momentum and the speed that you're carrying in the next corner. So I think as we move on into the section over here, that it's important to kind of, when you do accelerate off this, that you kind of are really patient and kind of understand that you cannot overdrive this corner. It's kind of the same. It's literally the same thing around the track. You drive too deep into the corner, and you're in the fluff. You're in the stuff that's blown from the groove onto the outside, the little rocks, and you're into the little stuff, or the marbles, I guess is a 10 scale term that a lot of people use. So you definitely don't want to overshoot this. Have a lot of patience, kind of like what Tyler mentioned at the end of the straightaway. It's super easy to overcook coming into here. I do it.
I mean, the one thing that I see here that I started kind of fearing later on was you get going so quick here is now this becomes almost a traction roll concern, because you're coming off of this jump, and for whatever reason this whole section to me has pretty good grip through here. So to me, when you come in here and now you're starting to make that right-hander, and the car is turning this way. So it's really easy to steer too much here or hit one of these little ruts that's in the track. And then that's what makes the car want to kind of bicycle here and traction roll. There's also a bump here, So this is probably just as difficult, because once you get up here, you kind of have to watch the wheel depending how fast you're going. Especially in mod, we jump the whole tabletop. You're coming up here, the car's going fast. It wants to kind of get on the left side. But then you have a bump here, which I can see the four-wheel drive guys we're kind of watching this a little bit, because they're going even faster here. And then they can kind of see this line that they're working with, but you can feel this bump right here.
Yeah, no, I mean, including to that bump, on the very inside, there is it kind of tapers off, like it's flat here, and then there's kind of like a little bit of a bumpy tapered off into the very inside, right where his 2 feet are. That's super important as well. I think if you can kind of go outside and kind of drive right in this line right here and then arc it, I think it's way smoother, because I've driven on that inside line and it kind of upsets the car, where you kind of almost can't keep that momentum going down. Like you're kind of holding on, like, oh wow, like it's kind of getting jittery, or it's kind of, the car's a little bit nervous. So I definitely think not staying super tight here, but a little bit on the outside, because if you drive on the inside, you do feel it. It's kind of like a little bit of a rough section. But this bump too, right? I mean, as the traction gets higher as we race through the weekend, I guarantee you that we're going to be, especially in full wheel, this is going to be a spot where you hit it, the car gets a little light, and then it just flies over on its lid, and you either hit the wall or fly off the track. I mean, and this is every track too. Like, it's not kind of a one-track thing. I mean, all the 10-scale tracks, there's always something, or the grip gets so high that the little imperfections in the track really matter. When you're racing on slicks, it's super edgy. You have all this grip, and you're almost a little bit on the nervous side. But yeah, you'll kind of see when the grip really comes up that this type of stuff that you probably didn't notice, or no one really notices the track was looser. This will start to play a factor in how your car feels, or how you go through this section, and it could cost you a mistake. So,
all right. So at this point, I'm already thinking about this double.
Yeah.
I'm right here. I'm already going, oh, here we go again. So are we going to jump the double? Are we going to roll the double? And and I think it's, to me, I feel like this is smooth to drive through. And then the next turn over here is really nice, but you're really kind of thinking about what you're going to do, to me, on the double over here. And, I tried rolling it, you tried jumping it. As the traction comes up, it makes you get excited over here, because you're like, wow, I got a lot of traction, I'm going to jump this thing. But then you really got to land it. That's the whole problem. Like we were talking about Cole earlier. I was like, well, if this was just straight, you could jump this thing every time, but you really got to land it and go the other direction. So the difficult part to me is what's going to happen over there. To me, here, track's pretty smooth, car has pretty good grip, and, it's really the biggest thing here is just getting too close to this pipe, because this stuff just sucks you right in. So, and when you're so far away from the driver's stand at this point, you really need to give it a little space, because you touch one of those little parts of this thing, and the car just turns right into it. So, to me, when you're driving with this kind of pipe, you really have to give it a little bit of space that far away, because it takes forever to get marshaled. So you gotta really watch this stuff and give it a little space, and then think about your double.
Yeah, for sure. You definitely don't want to be tight on here. one of the other points too is you can see that the groove of the track is outside a little bit, right? And part of that is that you are so far away from the section of the track that it looks like you're right on the pipe. You're like, holy cow, I can't go any closer. But in reality, you're mid part of this. Like, you still have a whole, bunch of room left to go on the inside. But that's not the fastest way around the line or around the track, because if you coming on the outside here kind of allows you to carry so much more natural speed, momentum into the switchback here section. You don't have to brake, jab brake the car, get it to brake loose to, kind of rotate tighter on the 180. You can kind of let off a little bit, let the car do its thing coming into the switchback here. And like Jason said, I think the switchback actually in the beginning was probably one of the loosest parts of the track. I think now that it's kind of actually got a really nice groove, and I actually think this part probably has some of the most traction on the track. And it feels nice, right? It's smooth. I think you can kind of carry your momentum from this elevation here, and it just feels nice. But at this point, we are definitely thinking about the double. Like, when we're in the switchback, the double is on your mind. So I absolutely suck at the double, so we're going to give it to the guy that can actually do the jump every single time. Actually, Dustin too, because Dustin's the one that freaking told me how to do this double.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, talking to everybody here, and watching. I went and watched the 4-wheel drive race, and there's a trick to this thing. But here, this, like we talked about, this part of the track is amazing here, nice and smooth. Keep your distance, and what I could see is with Brock here in 4-wheel drive. In 4-wheel drive, you can kind of get away with murder because you got all the power, you got the traction, you got the control of the brakes, you got the control of the steering. And Brock's kind of the whip master here. So when he could come out here and follow the pipe in 4-wheel, take kind of the ideal line and kind of whip the car and get this jump to work here. And I'm not doing that, but that's how you get the top seed. Is you got to come through here, you got to run the hero line, get a little whip action, and do the double. And to what I thought Dustin was doing, Dustin told me earlier, when 2-wheel drive, he noticed that we talked about earlier that this face of this jump isn't the same all the way across. Dustin noticed that where the logo is really where the kick is in the jump, where the lift is, and he wanted to get over it. So what I saw him doing, even in 4-wheel, is he would try to come out here and even hit this logo spot to get the lift so he could kind of just onto the inside. And I thought that was working really well for him. Brock was taking the hero line, which I think is going to benefit him overall as the traction keeps coming up, because he's going to be able to drive that line, especially in 4-wheel. But I thought Dustin's line was nice because he could just kind of drop down, not really put a lot into it, and it still make the jump here.
Yeah, I mean, obviously in 4-wheel you can get away with kind of just murdering it out of the corner, just wide open. But in 2-wheel drive, I would say I'm more on Dustin's side, like through this is like the center of this jump. You can see it from here basically, but it's just got a little bit more kick. And then in practice, I was actually going all the way outside because the way the jump is shaped, the jump is shorter. So yeah, in 4-wheel drive, you can get away with kind of just going through there, scrubbing it, carrying a lot of speed. But in 2-wheel drive, it's pretty crucial to hit the main line, but it's actually more crucial afterwards is to just don't touch the brakes. So we were talking about that, but like, yeah, you want to come through here, steady kill. You don't want to give it too much. You don't want to break traction. You just want to keep it going straight, and then you just want to find your mark right where the logo is right where your mark should be.
Yeah, so Dustin can kind of explain to us what he does in 2-wheel here. He's got, it's kind of not the ideal scenario, but it's ideal is when you land.
Yeah, so obviously the grip's coming up now, which enables you to do kind of what Brock's doing, taking. This is when I first got here, of course, I'm trying to follow the pipe and straight line it to the next pipe. And it's obviously challenging because then you're jumping the lip that's angled, so that's what throws the car, so you have to whip it and all that. And then when the grip's not super high and the car's not pointed straight, it's really easy to spin out in that corner in 2-wheel. And then I was finding that even in 4-wheel. So I'm doing it in both classes just because, I don't know, I feel it's safe for me and I like doing it in both classes. Because, yeah, it might not be the fastest line from this corner to the face for sure, but I'm thinking about the section as from this corner to say like the first roller. And if you can actually downside that double, get around the turn tight and the groove and through there, that's what's super fast. And obviously that's where I found out that coming out and around here and hitting, you can almost see it. It's like right in here. The jump has more lip, so you don't have to go so fast. When you take the line out here, you have to go really fast to clear the double. The car goes low, but then you're carrying so much speed landing it that, especially in two-wheel, you miss the turn and everything like that. Here, I'm able to actually go kind of easy and just blip it off this, and the car goes higher. And then, like Jason said, it kind of like floats down, not carrying as much speed, so that I'm able to make that corner. And that's, I feel like I'm pretty good landing the double and then getting the good line through the corner. So I give up a little bit here, but I feel like it's to get through that section fast.
Yeah, and you know, when you land here, this is kind of like a blind spot for me. I'm even on the stand, standing on the stand, but to me, you want to be here. You want to be here somewhere, but it's actually really hard to see that when your buggy's down here. So it's almost like where you can barely see the cab. That's kind of where you want to be. But like as Dustin's talking about, he's kind of dropping down, and you know Brock's kind of coming in here, and he's already on the gas. When Brock's coming through here, he's got this thing whipped out here, and he's like, I'm clear, and he's already on the gas going this way. And you know Dustin's a little bit safer, and kind of dropping in here, and he's like, I'm gonna be up on the nice inside, and kind of be a little easier here, which I think is nice and safe. But I'm sure from the driver's stand, when he's on the right line, he could probably only see maybe the cab and the wing.
There's actually been times where I think it's like, because not everyone drives so tight, because like you're saying you can see it, it's like there's been a few times I've actually hit it so tight where you think you're going to hit the pipe, and then you're like, oh, this is pretty ideal, and you actually pick up the gas and it's loose because you're so far, you're actually inside of
There's
the
no
groove.
traction here.
Yeah. So it's like kind of like right in this spot where I'm standing right now, arcing through here seems to have the most grip, and hitting that and not getting the car upset and everything is a big, where you can make a lot of lap time on this track. If you can land this double and get around this corner without counter steering, spinning out, it's going to be a good lap.
Yeah, I mean, what happened to me early, or just even in general trying to jump this, is you just think clearing it so cool, and you're out here pretty soon. So you're like, you're into this pipe, but that's a pretty big difference. Like being out here compared to being over here. So, Lee, you can talk about maybe just what you want to do. What do you want to do?
Yeah, I want to go around this section like every lap, but no, to be fair, it's just kind of my kryptonite so far right now. I just really can't hit it that well. I get through it, but I watch, like Dustin was telling me earlier, he's like, you kind of have to like hit that section, that middle part of the jump where the AR logo is, that way it does kind of float. And when you do hit that, you could definitely tell that you're in the right, like you hit it right, you hit it in the right line, because it's tighter on the pipe, you're much more on the inside, the car feels much more controllable, I would say. But it's tough. It's tough. I assure you that in two-wheel and full-wheel tomorrow that we're probably going to wreck here once, at least. When you say, Jason, it's a tough section of the track. It's the farthest part away from you. In the jumps, yeah, it's the loosest too, right? I think for sure this corner is by far the loosest part. Like when you land, you can't really get on the gas. You kind of have to let the car kind of settle in and kind of carry that momentum out. But it's tough. The jump is tough. It's the farthest part away from you. It's the loosest. So there's just a whole thing of things that are not feeling good as you're doing this section of the track. Yeah, I mean, to talk about. I didn't even see it.
Yeah, so for me, once I get through here and clear this, I feel kind of home free because you kind of lose your car over here a little bit. And to me, I'm thinking, all right, all I want to do is get to the landing off of this single because then I feel like the track's got good traction. It's got, there's plenty of space to operate in. But clearing this, to me, is also really difficult because it's the same thing. If you hit this stuff, the car hates these things and they'll turn right into it. They'll get caught underneath it. So it's like you really want to stay away from this part because now you're getting on the gas too, so you're going faster here. And so you want to keep a little bit of distance, but you still want to get your angle right here. And, we'll talk to Brock about that when we get over here, but you want to get that angle right for that part. So you do want to be as close as you can here, but you don't want to get caught on this thing.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I mean, the corrugated pipe is definitely not your friend. You kind of want to keep a good distance between, the wheels and your tires on the corrugated pipe, right? Because all it takes is for you to hit one of the corrugated, kind of ripples or whatever, and you kind of feel the car, like you hear that noise, and you kind of feel it like start to kind of suck into the pipe, and then before you know it, we've all done. Front of the car gets jammed in, and you're like this way. It happened in like 1.5 seconds. So. You definitely want to leave a little bit of room. Coming through here, I definitely prefer kind of somewhere being, kind of right around here. I don't like being too far on the inside of the pipe, right? You can kind of see that all the little rocks and the marbles on the track are kind of blown to each end of the pipe, but my preferred line is kind of somewhere right here. I don't know if Brock has anything to mention on that.
I will add, so in four-wheel drive, like the first 3 minutes of my run, these guys are going back to the pits. It's like, I really struggle just getting the entry into this right. So you can't really see it, but you can feel it when you walk over it. It is a high spot. If you bleed out too wide over this, it sends you further out on the face of this jump. And then not all faces of jumps are even, like we explained earlier. And so the way that this is curved, it literally sends you towards the pipe. So what I was struggling with was I would come in just way too fast, squeeze the trigger way too quick, and then I'd bleed off this bump, bleed off the face, and then my entry to the next corner, I was just facing straight towards the pipe. Rather than staying a little bit calmer coming out of the corner, pulling trigger, and then just coming through there straighter. You want to be probably like no further than, I would say, well, the face of the jump right here is basically where it kind of, the low spot begins. But you want to be within that range, and you don't want to go any wider than probably here. Because the way the bump is, like, you could go wider, obviously, but it just bleeds you out wider, and it doesn't set you up perfect for the rest of the section. So that was where I struggled, but yeah, you got to stay within the bump and just be a little more efficient.
And to me, there's a feel for how far you're going to jump off of this depending on what vehicle you're running, two-wheel or four-wheel. With four-wheel, it seems like the further you can jump, the car doesn't get upset. The more grip you get on the track, the two-wheel, you can start pushing the envelope and how far you're jumping off of this thing. But to me, you want to jump where the track is clean and has grip because you're really kind of setting up over here. Brock talked about kind of adjusting here. Lee talked about where he likes to be. But, to me, I like to land where the track is clean. And I feel like I got a nice angle over here. And that, because the biggest thing is with the two-wheel buggy is just keeping going straight, forward bite, keep going straight, because when that thing lands and you get all out of shape and you start swapping around, then it's just kind of a nightmare to drive. But if you can keep that thing straight, you can land nice in a clean area, and it feels like it's got good grip, then you're, like, to me, you're home free in here.
Yeah, for sure. I honestly think Brock probably has the way better line through here. Like when I would watch him drive towards later, before, seeding, he kind of, you can kind of tell that he was a lot more patient before entering, like, kind of coming out of that section of the track before, because I do it. I don't want to get on the gas really hard because you think you're kind of like almost kind of free of, like, any sort of, weirdness on the track. But yeah, there is a high spot there, and I've done it. Like, you hit that high spot, you hit here, and then your car just hits directly into the pipe before the second sequence. So yeah, you kind of want to, like Brock said, just be really patient. Something that it's not easy, but definitely around this track, with how fast it is, but kind of how challenging it is to put that perfect lap together, to get that hot lap or to have that flawless lap, requires a lot of patience. Especially now, the grip's coming up a little bit more, but I think even if the grip does come up, I think patience will actually be more involved, right? Because you'll find these little imperfections. They affect the car a little bit more now that you're on slicks, or now that the grip is up and you're on slicks. But yeah, definitely, I kind of like what Brock touched on, being a little bit patient for the second.
You just want to make every lap as easy as possible. Like, less wheel inputs, essentially. Like, just less overall inputs. So when you come through here, you're a little bit more patient. You're able to just square this away, like, without having to land and turn. That in itself just makes the lap easier. So that's the biggest thing going around the entire track, is just making as little extra movements as possible. So, but yeah. And then also with this, like I was saying, was the rolling speed is obviously important, but scrubbing this, it's not too dangerous to jump too far. There's not enough power in any of our cars, or hopefully not, to jump that whole roller. But when you send it off this roller, the way the car sucks to the track, it naturally will slow down a little bit as well. So
You could use this Adrenaline logo, well, you can see it, which I'm sure you guys could fix it too if you wanted to, but you can use this as a perfect gauge of what they're talking about, because what these guys are, like, thinking about is there's a bump over there that's messing me up 2 corners later. And because, like, we're on this track that it has good grip, but it's not, exceptional. We are momentum racing, especially in two-wheel, where, you're trying to keep fluid motions like these guys have been talking about. So you can kind of use this logo as a gauge of, like, I've screwed up, I need to back off, or I can keep going. Like, if you're to the left of it, going into that next jump, then you're probably in a bad spot.
yeah, I would say you don't really want to be any further past, like, I wouldn't go any further past this. Like, you want to be essentially outside of this. So obviously you don't want to be too outside in the marbles, but yeah, that's where you want to land, and you want to land with an angle that sets you up for the next jump, which we'll talk about.
Yeah, I mean, to me, this is the next difficult part of the whole thing, is how you want to do this. And when I see Brock, Dustin, all these guys, Lee, Cole Tollard, when they're coming through here in 4-wheel drive, to me, they're cheating death a little bit here with this pipe, to me. And when I was watching over there, it's really amazing how much they got the car over the top of this area over here. And I mean, to me, I'm way over here because I'm afraid of this. But these guys are yeah, you're flirting with disaster here. They had a jump like this here last year too. That was very similar, but a situation where you kind of had to be over the pipe. But that's for 4-wheel. I don't think you're really doing this in 2-wheel as much. You're giving it a lot more room because in 4-wheel drive you feel like you can do whatever you want with the steering and the throttle. You can get out of it. But 2-wheel, you're probably given a lot more cushion. And and this thing is kind of tricky here. So the landing part of this, to me, is critical, because this is a little trickier than I give it credit for when I look at it, because you can't have the wheel turn too much to the left here because the car wants to flip here. So
yeah. Something I wanted to point on about this section is, for me personally, I don't know how Brock, Dustin, or any one of those other guys take it, but I'm sure they'll probably agree with me. especially in full wheel, a little bit in two wheel as well. But I definitely am not afraid to like kind of skim over the top of this pipe, and I actually like to kind of land like here, like when you say, Brock, right, to get the suspension right, because the suspension is compressed, or it's kind of getting you over, and you don't have to hit any brakes.
That's what I was meaning by like just the way of scrubbing an RC with all four wheels on the ground, or anything with all four wheels on the ground, is like just the way the car sucks to the track. So the harder you send it in the face, the quicker it's going to slow down without having to use the brakes. The brakes is what makes you spin out. So obviously you don't want to land at the very top of the jump, but you do want to kind of, I mean, I don't know in two-wheel drive necessarily for really jumping over the pipe that much. I know four-wheel drive would definitely, there's some wheels over it, but
In two wheel, like we're still like sending it into the face of this table though.
essentially, like, I don't touch the brake at all. I would say here until, I don't even probably use the brakes on the downside of the jump.
Yeah.
Just allowing the car to kind of suck into the jump, put it where it needs to be, and just let the car just roll and do its thing. So yeah, I'd say I don't touch the brakes only over here until after that jump. But this through here, I'm just allowing the car to scrub to the track, get in the face of the jump, and just let it work and do its own thing. So,
You're jumping into the transition. That's the happy spot, is you jump into the transition, and then the car gets light. And the part where I'm talking about is you turn too much to the left, the car wants to flip over. But if you're doing this right, you're jumping into the transition kind of, and then you get that nice float over the top where you can turn into this. And like Brock said, he's not hitting the brakes. The car just will naturally turn pretty nice here when you're coming down the downside. But, you know, he's probably adding a little fancy driving to it here, too, to kind of get it to do what he wants. But ultimately, this is a nice floating section when you do it right.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it definitely feels nice when you hit it, and like what we just touched on. It feels really good when you kind of send it perfectly on the inside. You kind of land right at about the transition, and it floats right over. Right, you kind of get that nice pop over. Nothing too crazy. You're not jumping the crap out of this thing, and you land perfectly. Right, you land right at kind of where you want to land, right at before the apex of the corner. I definitely agree with Brock. I'm definitely not hitting the brakes through here at all, right? If you do it right, the car kind of naturally, you keep that momentum going in, you keep the momentum coming out, and it definitely feels nice. And you kind of know, for me, I say this a lot, but for me, you kind of know when you do the section of the track right, because it just feels correct. Like, it feels like the car and everything was working properly, and you hit the jump in the right spot at the exact moment. It feels like it was kind of meant to be almost. It sounds corny, but
with this section, you can see it from here, but there's a high spot, basically like right in front of you.
yeah.
I was saying when I was struggling over here, I was always having to go through the line, and then because of that, I wasn't able to straight line this corner, right? So I was having to essentially slow down myself, use the brakes myself, and then I was coming up this, I was landing wide, and I had to push out the bump. So that's where like we would stress on the it's like basically just connecting the dots. If you rush one line, and then Tyler explained, it's like we'll worry about two corners later, which is that corner. So essentially, you just, that's why you're being patient at the start and you time it along so yeah, there's a high spot you want to make sure you're landing either and basically just the left one. So.
Then for me, I think this is really a cool jump here. It's a single, which traditionally I hate single jumps, but this one is really neat. But to me, where you can see the fast guys versus the guys that are trying to go faster is they attack this a little bit more. They got a little bit of, they'll add a little whip on the car to come off of this thing a little lower, and they start pushing the envelope on how far they're going to jump off of this. To me, I'm scared of this thing, so I try to jump onto the downside so I can turn into the chicane nice, because we talked about that being the entrance to your lap or the beginning to your lap. But to me, you can also see where the track has the grip to it. There's like a look to the where it has more traction versus another. So to me, when I'm over here, I'm thinking I really like this section, but I don't want to jump too far, the car flat land, and then it wants to spin out. This is a two-wheel drive. And the guys that are a little more aggressive, they want to get a little more English on the car and set up for that corner. but you don't want to push it too far because you can feel that it's going to be loose too.
Yeah, for sure. You definitely can come up through here. You kind of push a little too hard, especially in two-wheel. You can definitely feel like the rear end kind of get light or kind of give out almost going into the chicane. And then, that's where we started, right? So that destroys the whole end of the lap. That kind of destroys kind of starting the next lap. You kind of lose that. You lost that last lap momentum going into the second lap or your third lap, or you're leading the qualifier. You kind of lose that momentum if you kind of break a little bit of traction, or you can kind of feel the car get a little bit light. Like Jason said, obviously some people, like, they look at this and they just kind of like roll over it. I would say we're definitely attacking it a little bit harder. I think Brock attacks it the hardest. I kind of land like right where Jason is, but that probably explains why I seated third and not first. But yeah, like I kind of land, right here, and I don't know, obviously I'm in the same race as Brock, but there's been times where I kind of watch him and he's almost like, right almost where Dustin's foot was, or a little bit before, where you kind of shoot the car over and you kind of get it to kind of unsettle itself where it will kind of rotate. But
You can almost cut the turn out if you do it right. You land on that outside tire, and
Yeah.
the car pivots really quick, and you basically do the turn in the air almost.
yeah, pretty much. Yeah, you can definitely kind of cut. You can cut a lot of like turning movement motion if you do it right. It kind of, the rear end lands and it kind of already rotates, and you're already you're already straight, so you just pull the gas. But for me, I kind of, I land a little bit here. I'm pretty aggressive. It's not like I'm not afraid of it. Just kind of my lines that I've felt comfortable with. But like I said, Brock definitely, I think, has the most aggressive line through here. I feel like kind of Dustin is kind of the same way. He's definitely a little bit more like, kind of wants the car to land on a smooth transition, right? Dustin's got a really kind of smooth, connecting the dots kind of driving style that it looks really nice when you're watching him drive. But
Contrary to that too is I saw Cole, and this only I think is really going to work in four-wheel drive, because in two-wheel drive, if you come into this and try to hit the brakes, it's probably going to spin out. But I noticed Cole in the seating run in four-wheel is being really aggressive, but kind of in the opposite way. He's stabbing the brakes really hard coming up the face of this, and as soon as the wheels touched the ground, he was back on the throttle. Which, like, I feel like most of the time when we see single rollers like this, that's actually more common. Is
Yeah.
to get on the brakes and get back on the throttle. Because of the grip level we have been kind of sitting it further, but Cole was kind of going to back to that original style. It seemed like it was working pretty well for him. So it's kind of something to think about, guys that are running four-wheel drive cars. You're not feeling super comfortable jumping out there, the car's getting unsettled. You can try that method, but you have to be pretty diligent about it because you're stopping all your momentum and restarting it now.
yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, honestly, that is kind of the preferred way when you look at something like this, that you want to keep the tires on the ground as much as possible, right? That's the most speed you're going to have. And Cole is kind of theoretically doing it the way that most people will look at it and go, that's the way I'm going to do it. But, like what Tyler said, with the grip the way it is, that it's almost feels kind of comfortable in some way to just over jump it and land kind of mid-corner and kind of be able to kind of have the car rotate on its own. But yeah, I don't know if Jason, you have anything.
To me, I look at this part of the track, and I want to get the car onto the part in two-wheel drive anyway, where it looks like the traction is on this jump. If you're probably up here, the car probably doesn't have a lot of grip, and you're trying to dash it down here to the corner. But to me, you want to get to a part where the car has the most grip, the track, where people are landing most, because that's where the track is getting the grip from the driving. So you want to get to there, and then you're set up where you're kind of where we started, but just kind of that entry, because you want to get a nice entry here coming back through the chicane, because as it starts to, so you kind of adjust there, and then pretty soon you're back where we started, getting a nice blast through the chicane there.
Yeah, for sure. I think it is important, like Jason said, to kind of land on the spot that you can, where you can kind of see the coloration of the track that has the most grip, right? you know, that's going to give you the most comfort when you land on power, setting up for the corner. But there's honestly, to this point on the jump, like there's so many ways to kind of attack it, and honestly, whatever makes you kind of the most comfortable that you can go the fastest on, right? Like if you're trying to overshoot this and, you know, drive like Brock Champlin, and you keep hitting the pipe, it's obviously not working, right? So maybe you need to not seed first and drive like me and seed third, and just go a little bit safer and kind of land a little bit on the downslope side of it. But yeah, I think there's many ways to do it, but I definitely think landing kind of on the grip side of the jump, where you can kind of see where the color lightens out, like Jason said, is super important.
So that's pretty much it.
Yep.
We did the full lap here. Thanks to Lee and Jacob for building this track here at Adrenaline. Thanks for coming out. I guess we're going to do some practice.
I mean, it'd be like 12 minutes of it.
12 minutes of practice.
So, I mean, if somebody wants to try to get some laps in,
As soon as we're done, thanks for joining us, and hopefully we can do this again soon. Thanks, Lee.
Yep.
Adrenaline, Tyler, Rob, Dustin, thanks again, and we'll see you on the
Yep.
track.
Thanks, guys.
Already got it. Oh, there you go. Gotta adjust my audio.
Alrighty, guys. So that's. Hey, Jacob. I did. All right, guys. Thank you so much. No Fend and Rivkin this weekend. We are all done for the day. We're going to get ourselves something to eat, and we are out for the night. Thank you, guys. Have a blessed night. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.